lots of monsters and nasty little things and creatures, and all of the dark, sort of uh, unkind fae uh, exist and live. The ones that were not wanted, basically, by the elven gods when they created the Feywild. On the material plane, where you guys are, for reference, that some of you, sort of like Ada and the Prince, would be able to correlate, there are no Feywild crossings in Forever back to the material plane. It's part of the crossings that happen on the material plane, happen where there are sort of a very thin spot between a very like magical place on the material plane and the Feywild, which is why you guys were able to do that crossing at the top of Icespire Peak, where you got the highest point in elevation on the material plane. Things like that. Very special, very unique places where you'll find those crossings. So, that's just a little explainer for where we are. Not on the material plane. We're off in a very sort of dangerous space right now. Let's see. Do a little recap for y'all. So, session number which 50, in fact.
Wow.
Uh, or this one is session 50.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Last session was mostly kind of like what Stella said before the rest of you guys got here. It was just sort of a relaxed talking through sort of planning stages for like future stuff.
That's very
Yeah, as just a decompressor after a long bit of a slog of a fight. I'll be honest. It was fun. It was our second time doing a dungeon crawl, and it truly took 5 sessions on my account.
A decompress sesh.
Yeah, so that was good. You guys rest. Casters, you'll get those. Stuff like that. We get to new levels so that everybody sort of knows, like,
I have. Oops. Sorry.
probably kind of loud. Apologies.
My patron genie is a genie. There's like the G. It's like DJINNI. So it's like you can say a genie. Um, Genie's Wrath. During each of your turns, when you hit with an attack roll, you can deal an extra 4 thunder damage. Oh yeah, I got Thunder Wave as a spell,
Ooh, heck yeah.
Hell yeah.
I think. And I think that's the big one right now. Yeah, that's the big one right now. And
Nice.
yeah, that's it for now.
Yeah. Cool. So first level, not a whole lot going on. Second
Yeah.
and third is where you get your pack boons and all that stuff. And warlocks have a different spell slot system than the rest of you. They get theirs on short rests because they only have a limited number. Um, whereas you guys have like an accumulated like 12 or so, they get maximum like 4. Um,
Oh.
so they cast their spells, but as they level up, you cast the spell at the highest level of it that you have access to.
Okay.
Um, so it's pretty strong. Eventually, that thunder wave will be cast
Thanks,
pretty
Milo.
high. So it'll do a ton of damage, but then you only have a certain number of spell slots for that. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything that I didn't hit that you guys remember specifically? The strongholds that Ada mentioned. You talked with Aaliyah Sylph, who's the one human who is one of Grog's former Legionnaire pals. And she basically told you that whenever she and the rest of these other people get back to the material plane, they can find a spot in Ushane. That would be a good spot for you guys to create a stronghold of various types. There are options that we'll get into once we get to another downtime thing, but now we know that we want it to be in Ushane because the location of it is sort of in the middle of the continent, and then you have a little bit of access. Little, it's easier to get anywhere else from there. So yeah, and that uses the Strongholds and Followers system by Matt Colville, and have access to that book for all of you guys, my players, to check out and read your sections on your temples and druid groves and sorcerers, little neat stuff in the barbarian camp, I believe is the other one. Paladin's Temple, things like that. So, sort of the first thing that we get into with this is actually Aaliyah approaches Grog, um, sort of this taller woman, and she has basically like this big braid that goes down the middle of her head. She's got like dark brown hair, sides are shaved down. She comes over to you with like this one of the bottles of wine and like two of the crystal uh, chalices. She's like, "Do you want to crack this open and catch up a little bit?"
Absolutely.
All right, good. Hands you a glass. You guys go off to a sort of a little bit away. She kind of like shoos some of these other people out of one of the rooms, and sits down. The rest of you see them kind of like go off on their own for a minute, and you know, yanks the cork off, pours you a glass, pours herself a glass. She says, "Cheers to surviving. There's not a whole lot of us left at this point of the Legionnaires."
Grog will cheers.
Takes a sip. She says, "So I trust you. I mean, it's a little bit different look going on." She's like gesturing to your chest where you have the big tattoo branding from Atlas on your chest. She's like, "I'd like the look. It's pretty intense compared to the hides and leathers that you had before. It's unique."
You know, I'm glad someone finally appreciates,
Yeah.
my artwork.
No, it's good. It's looks like it was kind of painful, but hey, all the power to you. I Does it mean anything? I hate it when people ask what my tattoos mean, but I gotta ask. It's right. It's all over your
Truly.
chest.
I kind of went in with an open mind and just thought, I'm gonna let the art speak to me. No. Grog is gonna. A lot has changed in my absence. I've met some amazing folks. Would she have remembered? She probably wouldn't have remembered who Azealia was.
I think she would have been with you when you went on that little mission, so she probably would have recognized her. Like, it's good that you reconnected with her. I mean, it's good that things have changed for you. For a lot of us, things are different. I only know of maybe a dozen of us left that are still around, like me and you, but I got my memories back, and that's kind of something that I I know I kind of shouted at you because I thought we might die in that
Understood.
fight, so I needed you to know about that. But I are your friends cool? Do they know about? Okay, all right.
We're in some shit ourselves.
Okay, good. So it's not just. All right. Well, if you want to invite him in, we should talk.
Yeah.
Because this is kind of important.
Grog's gonna just down the rest of that glass that he's got, and he's gonna just kind of whistle back to the group. Gather round.
Shadow comes bounding in.
We need to talk.
Leah's like, "Whoa, Tiger! Wow, he was asleep before. This is a really big cat."
Oh yeah, he's fine. He's fine.
Yeah, that's good. Kind of like puts her hand out for him to like smell it, and Shadow just like licks it. She's like, "All right,
Yeah, that's
cool."
it's my pet tiger. I found him. Uh, he was
Like,
he was trapped.
me.
He was trapped
No,
under a burning
that's
house.
not true. No, no.
The whole village was gonna go down, and I rescued him.
Only
Really?
Yeah,
children.
So the
No.
the village was burning down, and then you just saved the tiger. You didn't
and
save any of the people.
and then there was a dragon. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
That's
dragon.
also
Was it a
over.
wormling?
No, no, it was one of those fire-breathing dragons.
No. Wow. Look at you. So proud.
Mm-hmm.
You've really grown and changed. And
Yep.
she turns to the rest of you, and she's like, he's the biggest liar the whole time I've known him.
I don't
I'm
know
good
what
to
you
see
want
that
more.
parts of you hasn't changed.
Absolutely.
But I will tell you something that is not a lie that Grog and I both went through um, a long time ago. And you see, she like tops off her glass, drains about half of it, uh, and kind of looks to Grog, and she's like, "The whole reason that we know each other, Grog and I, is because we were picked up a long time ago um, to close the rift, and we ended up stopping the war and saving everyone. At least that's the story that everyone knows. But that's not actually what happened. And it turns out the Gallo-born wizards put a uh, modify memory spell on me and Grog and the rest of the legionnaires who were there to make us forget what we saw. And I only got my memories back because I was working a job as the muscle for some harpers, and I got hit with a dispel magic, and I suddenly got my memories back. And it turns out uh, they lied. The Silveranth Empire completely lied about the war and what happened. Um, because that mission that I was on was to recover a codex to decode the journal of Aravan Gallowborn with a harper named Quill, who had the journal, but a lot of it was in code. And he was able to decode it. And it was the personal journal of the Archmage. And it turns out there was no warlock. There was no summoning ritual that she did in the middle of the Citadel, a complete fabrication. Erevan Gallowborn tried to summon a dragon from the moon into a massive Warforged body, but he fucked up the ritual and created a bunch of rifts from the lower planes, which allowed all kinds of demons to pour in. And they just went with that. The Empire completely covered it up. They pinned it on a woman that doesn't exist. And Grog and I were sent in to close the rift that they said that this warlock opened. And most of us died. Over 100 of us, Grog, myself, and most all of the Gallowborn wizards went in, and 33 of us, the Legionnaires, including our commander, survived. But when we got back to Gallowborn Manor, our memories of what we saw there were erased. Um, and as far as I know, Grog and I, and now you all, are the only people that know that this whole war that happened that changed the continent forever was based on a lie. And it's important that you know that because it has fucked over everyone that I know and everyone that I care about. And the reason that I was working with these Harpers is because there's a group of cultists that are trying to release that Warforged that we saw, and or I should say, Erev and Galaborn trapped there for now. And so far as I know from my work with the Harpers, it's a bunch of cultists that believe this dragon is going to give them ultimate power after he brings chaos and destruction to the material plane. And it's bad because they have a lot of power. They're backed by really powerful people like the Zentarim, and uh, we got out of there, me and Quill and the rest of our team. When we got the codex and we were able to leave, we were in Cluebridge. And after the fight, we started getting picked off one by one. And we're pretty sure that's because the Mage Guard has scrying that they can put on us uh, because they had our blood or our clothes or, you know, uh, anything of yours that they collect. The wizards will be able to scry on you very easily, so long as you're on the same plane of existence. Yeah, and so we all got picked off, and I was the last one that Lady Amir picked up. And it's important that I tell you guys this because I might be the only person uh, who knew that this happened or existed. So that's sort of where I'm at. Uh, I presume that they don't have my blood anymore because Amir told them I was dead. So I'm free and clear. But sounds like you guys have been in some scrapes with them. So any of you, and kind of like scratching Tiger companion as well. And it's like, and this big guy, if you left any fur or blood or belongings in Cluebridge in that scrap you got into, those wizards will be able to find you on the material plane unless you get some non-detection abjuration spells on hand or magical items that you can procure that will protect you from scrying. Otherwise, uh, they're going to be looking for you because Mage Guard doesn't give up that easy. And you're probably safe in the Feywild for now. They're not going to send people to this plane or something else like that. They won't waste resources that way. But you should know what you're up against with them. And that's why, and at this point, she kind of stands up and gestures to the kind of like general where the rest of the like people that you've saved, just like, and that's why I'm happy to follow you and help you because you seem like our best shot at stopping these guys. Because I couldn't take out Emir on my own or with a team, but you guys could. And if you could take her out, you could find their lieutenants, you can stop this plot, and hell, maybe even save the continent. And kind of like looks like winks at Grodd and says, again.
We'll do more than that. We'll save the fucking world.
Cheers to that. Raises a glass. To saving the world. and
Ah,
drank.
Saving the world.
Huzzah!
good to
All right.
have you with
Well,
us.
it's good to be with you. I missed having a team. But that's my story so far. There's not much else to say. I've just been traveling as a sort of hired blade for a few decades before I joined up with the Harpers. So,
That's that's ridiculous that this whole war was started on nothing but lies.
yeah, Erevan Galaborn, he created the Warforged. And you know why? Will found this in the early parts of his notes. The reason he made these is because his brother died. And he couldn't reincarnate him because to reincarnate someone, their soul has to be willing to come back. But the man couldn't leave his brother alone. And so he figured out how to rip a soul from the afterlife and trap it in a body. That's
This motherfucker!
right.
The
Wizards. Fucking wizards.
Not hashtag not all wizards.
hashtag,
Oh my god.
hashtag not all wizards.
bastard.
Yeah, that's the whole reason he made the Warforged. That Quill fucking he figured it out. He decoded the book. Yeah, all based on a lie, and all because a man couldn't let his brother rest,
Classic.
And
and
Wizard.
it didn't even work. It didn't even work. He had to erase his memory. All the Warforged. They're ripped from the other planes, and their memories are erased because when you come back and you know that you're in the afterlife already, and you see she like gets even more animated, she's like, it's it's cruel, right?
yeah.
It's like all of our companions, all 100 of us, fantastic warriors, everyone that we lost, they're all, in Eastgard. They're fighting on the endless battlefields and feasting every night in the Great Hall. And instead, you get ripped away from that, put in a metal body. It's absurd. It's unconscionable. And they lied about that too. They said they were the perfect soldiers, automatons of magic. But another fucking lie. That another reason to hate the Empire.
Is there what's around us? Like, are we outside? Are we?
You're probably in like the parlor of the um of this, or like out in the garden when it's a little bit nicer weather now. So either like sitting, yeah, probably like outside.
I was gonna say, out of like sheer and utter emotion, Grog is gonna just fucking punch the closest inanimate object.
Give me a little attack roll as you punch this marble pedestal that's in the middle of the courtyard.
Oh
I'm
god!
gonna do like an unarmed strike.
Yeah,
Okay,
Grog breaks his hand.
that's a fucking 9.
nice. Yeah, you go and in frustration punch this thing, and you take just a point of damage as like it's a solid hit, but then actually a chunk from up top falls down and smacks into your hand.
Sick.
So yeah, it's kind of like
The fucking animals.
truly, but
That sound was heinous.
in truth, Lashana, the only high elf that I trust at this point, and I don't even know where she is.
She's probably fucking gone.
I don't know. I saw Alyssa literally just take wing and flew off into the sunset. No one's heard from her after that. When we got back, she just left. So something like that probably hopped on her fucking hippogriff and took off. But That's it. That's really all I know about this fucking empire and all their
I
shit.
hope this guy dies a most painful death, and I hope we're the ones to bring it to him.
We're gonna make him fucking pay.
Bum, bum.
I hope you do, because he deserves it.
I will commit
Anyhow.
heinous war crimes against this fucking man.
Typical
Yeah.
grog shit.
Oh, Aaliyah does kind of like as an aside, she goes, she switches to giant for a minute to talk with you, Grog,
Ooh,
and
okay.
says, she says, you go by Grog now, or do you still do Akan or Skull Crusher, or just Grog?
I do both. Grog is easier to pronounce for these, you know.
Yeah, Lowlanders.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Thank
Oh.
you.
They switch to a foreign language, and then start laughing, and then she switches back, and she's like, "Sorry, just a soldier thing. I
Soldier
didn't
stuff.
want to.
You had to be
Yeah,
there, bro. Had to
soldier
be there.
stuff. Yeah, it was really
Hmm.
you had to be there. It's
Yeah.
kind of gross. Some stuff about the war.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, uh, all right. Well, Grog and your companions. If there's anything else you need from me, I'm here to help. Otherwise, she kind of like shakes the bottle. She's like, I'm gonna get a separate bottle of this for myself and get absolutely toasted before we head out.
Hell yeah.
All right, good stuff. Leaves the rest for you guys, kind of in your huddle out here, and kind of saunters off. Already a little bit tipsy, using her glaive to sort of like walk upright. It's like fucking elves. They can do wine. Whew. And so she leaves, and you guys are sort of left alone in this moment after getting her little bit of backstory and some revelations. And you, as a little recap for those that weren't around for Grog's one shot, the last time that Grog and Aaliyah saw Erevan Galiborn was when he uh like froze time with a time stop spell in this artifact. Um, so far as Grog knows, he uh, teleported him into the middle of a battle with the giant warforged, and he is now stuck there for however long that time stop lasts.
I just can't believe she's alive. I thought all my friends were dead.
I have a question for a second.
Yeah,
Have
shoot.
we had any sort of rest?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
We had
this has
a
been a
long
couple of
rest.
days.
Hell yeah. I was like, I'm at 17 hit points. And I don't know why.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, this is fully long rest. Like this is like 2 days of you guys sort of like catching up and like recuperating
Oh, yeah.
in this keep that you've sort of taken over for the time being.
Another question.
Mhm.
Based on the organizations that Rock is a part of,
Yep.
how much would he have already known? My guess is that he would have already known most of it.
Yeah, pretty much everything that she just said, you were like 90% there.
Okay.
Not that uh that Erevan, or it's basically what she said verified all of the like hypothesis and sort of that web of questions that your organizations have been compiling, where it's like, we're pretty sure this is what happened. You just had a primary source verify, like, yep.
Okay.
So it's all true.
Okay. And then my last question is: Has Grog had? Is Grog? Does Grog still have the false memories?
He would have both at this point. It's basically the enchantment of modify memory that was just wiped over that. It's sort of like if you put a new coat of like paint over a wall or a new coat of like wallpaper, changes it. But if you peel off the wallpaper, you can still look at the old stuff and the
Hmm.
stuff that's underneath.
Okay. I think Rock is gonna go up to Grog and be like, "Hey, can we talk for a second?"
Sure, little one. My tiny friend.
Like, they're like, take him aside. Uh, I have dispel magic. So if you want things to be different, I can make that happen. Just think about it. Don't need to have a decision now, but I just wanted to let you know that.
Thank you.
Nods. And then I think he like walks away. And Rock's gonna send a message to these organizations. Something like primary source confirmed, like, and then comma, they know.
Okay,
Wants to send that
sweet.
message somehow.
Okay. I would say just roll me a flat D20,
Okay.
and we'll see what kind of contact you have in the Feywild that you would know of.
Okay.
I will say that the closer, higher is better.
Okay. I rolled a 19.
Damn.
19, awesome. There's another Harper agent in the Autumn Court. I will even say you on a 19, there's another Harper agent that is in the Winter Court that when you use that sending, uh, they immediately respond, got it. I'll inform headquarters. Glad to hear you're safe. I'll push this up the chain. Safe
Sweet.
travels.
You as well. And then like we'll go back and join the group. Just like be very casual, like nonchalant.
Yeah, cool. Uh, Sure. I will make a note that and figure out who that person is in the Winter Court because they will want to talk to you.
Mm.
I forgot to actually go and choose my spells, so I can tell you the spells that I have now because I chose
Oh,
them.
yeah. Hit us
Sorry.
with it.
So I've got where is it? Mind Sliver, which is
Ooh.
like basically I like send like psychic energy to somebody and they have to make like a saving throw um or otherwise they take damage, psychic damage. And then I also have Eldritch Blast.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Both of those are cantrips.
Nice.
And then I have Thunder Wave, which I already told you. And then I have Sanctuary as well, which is basically like a protection spell, buffing spell to
Oh, yeah.
something I'm using.
Sanctuary is a very unique one when it comes to buffing spells. Actually, do you want to read that out? And I will actually read you guys the scrying because you guys would at least know part of it. But go ahead and
All
do
right.
give us sanctuary because it's unique in the way that it works.
So, first level spell, and it's a casting time is a bonus action. Um, You ward a creature within range against attack. Until the spell ends, any creature who targets the warded creature with an attack or harmful spell must first make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature must choose a new target or lose the attack or spell. This spell doesn't protect the warded creature from area effects such as the explosion of a fireball. If the warded creature makes an attack, casts a spell that affects an enemy, or deals damage to another creature, this spell ends.
So it's a very unique sort of like abjuration spell in that um, you can move around and it makes it much harder for people to target you um, instead of something like uh, a full-on just bless where it makes you stronger in concentrating and stuff, or a healing or a shield spell. Um, yeah, it's also the bonus action is great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so the thing with scrying that you guys would probably know is that you basically when they are casting it on you, basically I will tell you guys to make wisdom saves because to do this you have to hit a certain DC. And it obviously hasn't happened yet because you're not on the material plane anymore, so they can't use this on you. But when it happens, it will be basically because uh, you can assume that when they covered that crime scene of the fight that you guys had, um, or more than one, uh, they have at least some of your blood and fur, if not fully your likeness, images or full on memories taken to get a representation of your likeness from the people that you uh, interacted with in the fights there. Um, so those will more or less be the saving throws will have a those of you uh, will have a -10 to the rolls, and I will do a pure luck check by the time you guys get back to the material plane uh, to see which thing, if at all, that they were able to recover uh, from your time in Cluebridge. And we'll just roll a little bit of a D100 when we get there, and you'll want a lower number for that. Good stuff. So, you've had this whole conversation with, uh, where she's sort of just like given you a whole bunch of information that I think for those of you guys that are from the material plane, um, what is sort of your reaction to like each of you were affected by the war in various ways on uh, a continent-wide scale, a war of this kind and the magnitude of it. Uh, and now knowing that it's all sort of based on a lie, those of you from the material plane, and I guess Ada as well, hearing about it, what are your guys like sort of first thoughts as you sort of like stew on this information?
Classic war reasoning, but also pissed,
Pissed.
obviously. Yes.
I didn't
Who
really
doesn't
know.
like that word at all?
I didn't really
Just the
know what was going on outside of my woods for like my entire life. So I was very sheltered.
That's true. Yeah, not a whole lot of stuff happened.
Not a whole lot besides I meeting Grog later on, but I was just so focused on like my village and what was happening there. So like it's a shock to me, but also everything is a shock to me. So
so
yeah.
sheltered.
Yeah, very much just like it feels very much like, damn, that's crazy.
Right. I'm like,
Anyways,
wow, nothing to compare that to, but wow.
I think
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like when you live in the Amazon and then you're just like, well, shit, World War II.
shit.
Man,
Fuck.
that's
What was that?
It's kind of like
So, wow,
Tarzan.
that sucks.
It's kind of like Tarzan meeting
Yeah,
other people.
yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
What? I
I'm
think.
just a simple jungle girl.
Yeah, exactly. I think for Grog,
I don't have a
knowing that this entire war is a lie, ultimately a big part of his life, like, was also a lie. Like, I'm sure if this didn't happen, he'd still be up in the spine, like, being the protector and, having, like, more of a simple life. So, he's kind of going through the ringer right now. Also, probably if this war didn't happen, his wife probably wouldn't have died. And all of his friends wouldn't have died. Grog's he's not really. Emotionally, he's not here right now. Please leave a message after the beep.
Grog, just the 1,000-yard stare.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Ultimately,
Yeah.
knowing that, like, this was entirely for nothing and, like, hundreds of his friends and comrades died essentially for nothing.
How long has this war been going on?
So world history wise, this is 25 years after the battle in which Grog and his companions brought Erevan Galaborn to Enlace Anor, and he froze time in that spot. So it's been approximately 25 years since the war ended. But still, since then, there are sort of rifts in the wastes that still have demons that kind of like pop out, and that's sort of the uh, reasoning for the two countries that are the north and south to sort of like push back and like close these smaller rifts that keep appearing. But the war itself ended about 25 years ago.
Hmm.
Okay. How old am I?
I think we said originally that Zephyrus is like in her late 20s, early 30s, because it was you and your twin sister, and you grew up in sort of the mercantile uh, area around like the South Seas,
Yeah.
with your probably your mom and dad, if they were also sailors or tradespeople, would
Yeah.
have been sort of more of a protected class because they're not someone that got, you know, you weren't part. Their your parents probably weren't part of like the levy soldiers that got, you know, picked up and put on the front lines with the Warforged.
Hmm.
So probably more sheltered than I think the rest of your companions.
Yeah. I feel like. Because I don't know what it is, really, what makes sense narratively, but I feel like there was definitely like something that happened in Zephyrus's family that kind of like made everybody kind of like be estranged with each other. Um,
Yeah.
and so, and I feel like the like maybe like the picking up the pieces after the war had something to do with that. Like, I don't know what that is though.
Yeah. So there was like a familiar rift, and having this war that was started on a lie, basically. It's like, well,
Yeah.
now I know where to put this resentment.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, the goddamn empire and the hubris of wizards.
You guys are just
Yeah.
blowing too much hot air.
Hey,
Sorry.
I get it.
low
I feel like
blow,
maybe
low blow.
I feel like for Rock, because he's also like mid early 30s, that like grew up in this like was young at the beginning of when things of like at the end of the war, but was really involved in like this kind of post like direct war situation happening, but also was like, you know, in Iserion, like in Silverant, like constantly being manipulated by like the high elves and what was going on there anyway. Um, like being connected to wild magic and having that like be taken advantage of and manipulated too. That there's this like there isn't the shock in this moment because they already knew what was happening. But when he did first find out, is like, got like my whole life has been a lie. Like, what is going on? Like, and then I think really tapping into like that wild magic for them became like innate instead of like it's like what can I trust? And it's like the only thing I can trust is like wild magic. Um,
Yeah.
uh, but so then like anytime hearing about it again just kind of brings up those like old wounds.
Hmm.
It's like okay, it happened in the past, but like it's easy to like when you're so involved in it, and then when some other people find out about it for the first time, you're like, fuck, like,
Yeah. And you're like,
uh,
well, I don't want to relive this, but it's part of how I grew up. So, the
yeah,
scars uh, are there and they're not fresh, but it's hard to forget about something as formative as that. Um,
yeah,
right. So each of you sort of in this moment thinking on how much or how little this has affected you or your families or the people that you care about in this adventuring party. Um, you're able to sort of like shoulder this knowledge and hardship, but know that you have a path forward. And part of that path is you guys making your way towards the Waygate, which you, after uh, a day or so, you're able to pack up your supplies with this dozen or so um, other people that you've saved and start trekking according sort of like to the map what you would consider sort of northeast towards this uh, waygate into just this kind of dense forest, which is sort of strange now as you approach it, in that most of the leaves of it have like fallen or are in the sort of like late stage of autumn where like most of the leaves have fallen. And so it's like a lot on the ground everywhere, lots of crunching of leaves as you go. Um, but then there are other trees that just have like the like last like two or three that are just like very limply hanging on to like the very last leaf that just doesn't seem to want to let go of these trees. Um, it gets very still and very quiet as you guys keep moving on. Um, and as much as you've gone through with this, you did realize that time here in Forever is kind of weird. Like the days seem longer than the nights, and sort of like the morning and evening change very quickly sometimes, or it like stretches out. Like you'll have this dawn that everyone wakes up and it's like, okay, it just stays sort of like that very like golden hour light. And then within like 20 minutes, it's noon sun directly above. And then 20 minutes later, it's sunset. And it just stays like that. And as you move into this section, about a half day's walk, the sun uh, shifts very quickly as you're walking into a deep sunset. So the sort of like the leaves overhead, or not the leaves, the branches overhead are illuminated in this sort of like golden orange light. Um, but the forest floor is now sort of like dimly lit as you go. And continuing on, you're sort of like following what looks to be sort of like a game trail, a natural sort of path that you're following that looks like where, small animals, probably like a herds of deer, make their way through, elk, whatever grazing animals that make their way through here, you know, chewing on the bark. You can see marks of like, okay, a herd of deer slept here, did whatever. Um, as you're going along, everyone give me a perception check, because you
Ooh, we get
see
to roll
a
dice.
fallen tree in the distance.
24. Boy,
Whoa.
I don't even see the tree.
that's crazy.
15.
17.
Okay,
I got a 9.
awesome. Sweet. So Rock and Zephyrus, the most sort of keen-eyed of
But I got
the
16 too.
oh, and Azealia. Okay. Um, you guys, as you're going, you do see like throughout the forest, it's very much like you'll see fallen trees that have like sort of old growth that has collapsed in a storm or something. But you see one that at a distance, you're like, okay, just another fallen one. But you notice this tree sort of in the middle of nowhere. Um, the stump is like freshly cut. Like this was felled like by a person. Um, at a distance, you're able to see that. As you get a little bit closer to it, give me a perception check or investigation if you're gonna like sort of approach this. Perception if you're gonna try and like sort of walk around it.
I'm
Oh my god, I suck.
investigating. Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus.
I got an 8.
It's
Wait.
a 7.
I just found the tree, guys.
Perception again?
Yeah, perception if you're like sort of like looking at it at a distance. Investigation if you like kind of get a little bit closer
Grog just
to.
found out we're in the woods.
I got a 15.
Awesome. Grog, I think you're a little bit out
23.
of your element, being you're just like
Jeez.
woods again.
Woods? It's all the
Woods.
same.
What are all these
It was
woods?
yeah. It was so much easier when everything was just like rocks and ice.
Yeah.
And like
I
this.
should just have
I'm
this
home.
innately in the bag. Like, can I
Yeah.
live into a fucking tree?
Yeah. And then as soon as Azealia is just like trees,
Hmm?
these are my people, man.
Tree is me.
Yeah. So Azealia, those of you guys that got at least a 10, at a distance with a perception, and I would say Grog, you're even able to sort of notice this as well.
Thank you.
Pretty low DC, but as you're sort of like going by, uh, the bark of the tree, it looks sort of like fuzzy, like it's got like brown moss all over it. Um,
Mm.
and you can see that there are more like uh low hanging branches that have been like hacked off, um as though not just like the tree was felled and then branches were cut off of it instead of the full tree being like chopped up. um did anyone beat a 15?
Yes. I got a 23.
23. Holy shit, was that perception or
Damn.
investigation?
Perception.
You cut down the
Perception?
tree.
uh as you get a little bit closer to it, you're sort of like walking probably opposite side of the rest to like go towards the stump where it was cut, while the rest of them see sort of these branches and that have been like cut off and they're sort of like going around it or sort of like hopping over it. Going past the stump of the trunk, uh you on a 23 see two things very distinctly. The markings where it has cut, whatever blade that cut into this was incredibly sharp. It took three hits to cut a tree that was about this big around, about a foot in diameter. 3 swings of an axe to cut through this tree. The other thing that you don't see it, but you do smell it, is that the sap of this tree. There is a third thing that you also see. Um, the sap of it that you can see is sort of like very thin and not like a tree where you'd have like maple or pine. They have that really like sticky sap that like barely drips when it's like super hot, or even in the wintertime, like it'll be like the one drip at a time. You can see because this was freshly cut, there's still sap like coming out of it, but it looks like, sap of a tree. It's pretty clear, sort of like there's not any real like color to it. Same thing with the wood. It looks like normal wood, but you smell blood.
Hmm.
Can I like can I like touch the sap and like
It's
check-
blood.
Can I touch it?
Yuck.
it's clear?
The tree is bleeding.
I want to touch it.
Yeah, it has the consistency of like tree sap. Like it's sticky, but you've been, hit in the mouth. You know what your own blood tastes like when you've, cut your tongue on something. This is blood on the tree. And I will say, as you get closer to it, sort of moss that seems to be covering the entire tree, as you sort of like reach down, you brush it, and it feels like deer hide, like it's fur.
What the hell?
That's crazy.
It's wood. It's a centaur.
Druid person. What does this mean?
Ah, what is
As
what?
you do this, I need Ada, and I'm going to roll for the prince. Uh, Ada, I need you to roll history or arcana, and you're going to roll with advantage for this.
Praying for you, girl.
Doing Arcana. Thank
Okay.
you. First
Nice.
roll is 17.
Pretty good,
Okay.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Medium DC. The as you guys are sort of like, Zephyrus says that, like, or what exactly how did you like tell the rest of the gang, like, I just tasted the sap and this is blood, and also it's fur.
I say that, but then it's like I feel like this tree is a person or something.
Ada and the prince both like sort of freeze in this moment, because there's a story that mothers tell their children in the various courts, that you're not supposed to sleep in the woods at night because there's a creature that brings an endless slumber to those bad girls and boys and anyone in between that goes to sleep after they've done something naughty.
No.
And
no.
the last thing you see as you fall asleep is the roots of a tree growing over you,
Again, of course.
and the light of the lantern of the woodsman who's coming to cut down your tree and use the sap from your branches to fuel his lantern.
Lord.
Where the
This is like some Appalachian.
Yeah, no shit. Make this up or you find this.
Thank you,
Dude, I was waiting for him to be like,
we make our grand exit.
I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight.
The Wendigo calls in the night.
and I need everyone except for my party members who are elves to make just an insight or a constitution roll. I would say wisdom or constitution.
If you're
Just
an
a
alpha
flat.
roll.
Wisdom or Constitution?
Yeah.
They're both the same.
Yeah, same. I'm gonna do. Oops.
Oh my god, is that a not 20, baby?
What? I got a 6.
I got a 23.
What was that for rock?
10.
10?
These trees
Okay.
have eyes.
Zephyrus, what did you use for your check?
Wisdom.
Wisdom? You don't feel that different as they're saying, like, oh, there's this, like, okay, it's like a boogeyman. Sure, you, like, go to sleep in, like, a magical forest. But okay, I'm fine. Uh, the others that got the 10 and the uh higher higher than a
You can
10, uh you recognize you've only been crossing overland is not super tiring. There's not a whole lot of like hills and gullies that you've gone through. This is not like when you were climbing a glacier. But you are exceptionally tired. Um and with that recognition, like glancing around the rest of the people that you've been sort of like guiding through here, a lot of people have sort of like sat down and are like leaning up against trees. Some people
no.
like sort of nodding off. And with this, we're going to transition into a new segment after we take a little bit of a break.
Oh.
As
segment.
you yes, this is going to be a skill challenge, which is something different than what we've done in the past to escape this forest.
Escape. Oh shit.
God damn.
I feel like
Also-
we're in like the Rocky, or not the Rockies, but the
Whoa.
what do they call? Oh, the Smoky Mountains.
Yes. The
It's
smoke-
giving
It's
giving West Virginia.
Take me home to the place I belong, West
yeah, like
Virginia.
what happens in West Virginia, like creepy shit.
That's where
happens
Grog's
in
from.
Exactly.
That's where
Yeah.
Grog's from.
And listen to so many murder and like crazy conspiracy podcasts about West fucking Virginia.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I was
Just
listening.
like Appalachia.
I was listening to this podcast, and they were talking about the overlap between. They had different heat maps, and there was a correlation between the Appalachian Trail. There was a correlation between cave systems, and then there was a correlation between missing persons or murders, and they all overlap on the fucking Appalachian Trail.
Yes, I saw that too.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
What?
But also, like, if I were to
Damn.
ever do something like that, that's where I would do it.
You should have places that you don't.
You were gonna do a crime?
Yeah. If I were to ever
Specifically, murder
We tried
or
to
abductions.
any crime, I would just do on the Appalachian Trail.
Good to know, Seth. Good to know.
I
We've
commit
heard
tax
of
Do
it.
fraud.
white collar
Oh, yeah.
crime on the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just got my laptop and a chair, and I'm just typing away.
Die in the
Tax
woods.
I
evasion.
lie
Taxes.
about how much I got in tips only when I'm on the Appalachian Trail.
Someone in chat goes, and they say the perfect camping or vacation spot doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I commit tax fraud on the Appalachian
I
Trail.
Oh, that's funny.
God, that's a very hyper specific bumper sticker for the Cluehbridge Six
That's
I
my
committed tax fraud on the
On
on the
Appalachian
Appalachian
Trail.
Trail.
Grog's next tattoo.
So niche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make an Etsy account and just order that.
All right, Daniel, are you ready for these logos?
Oh yeah. Hit me.
Okay, hang on. Just gonna save him. I'm just gonna send him in the
Logos
chat.
for what?
So we were. Go ahead, Daniel.
Oh, I'm just moving around. You can
Oh,
you
okay.
can show the do your logo
Oh
sharing.
no, Hallie was asking why.
Yeah.
She was
Oh.
asking where they're from. Yeah, like why.
Right. So these are in reference to an animation, very niche animation / design conversation we were having about
Oh,
like designer humor.
He thought one of his friends has a shirt that says instead of just do it, it's just do it. And do it is like a rigging model you can use in After Effects for like characters. I'm lying, so I just said I'd just make it. And I don't know what it looks like, so
did you make it?
I made 3 different versions.
Where can I see?
I'm gonna send it. Hold on. I didn't know what they looked like, so
Do it
I just
now.
guessed.
Just kidding. Dog.
And then I did this one.
Trigger.
And then I did that one.
Ooh. I like the
Cool.
third one.
What's the little blue and red thing?
That's the rigging.
Yeah,
Joints.
I believe
Yeah.
it technically it would follow the chromatic pattern starting with red and ending
Yeah.
blue, but
I know. I liked that better than yellow. Red and yellow looked wrong to me. It looked like
yeah.
McDonald's.
The one that he
is just comment.
the one that my friend had it had the
That
full
is so-
chain. Oh my God, Aaron! What?
I'm literally
Aaron!
crying.
That's
My
hilarious.
heart.
So funny.
I love him so much.
I missed something. What happened?
Our
Oh,
teacher.
just
Oh.
It's our
I
animation teacher.
yeah, I had no idea that
He was still on the chat.
Oh my god.
Oh,
He's
that
LOL.
he's still in the
stalker.
channel.
Oh my
That's
God.
incredible. I had no
I
idea.
just spilled water literally all
Too excited.
literally though. I was like thinking about it
Oh
the other
God,
day.
Jesus Christ.
Allie. Oh my
Jesus.
God.
I
Just fall off the couch.
It's me.
Oh, okay. Here, they look like this. Well,
Okay, I'm gonna go. I'll be right back.
Damn. Sup, Will?
Oh, and that was
yeah.
that was Aaron in the chat.
Yes.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was telling Avery the other night, Seth,
Yeah.
I was like, this is so funny because I'm in a D&D group with you and you're in a D&D group with Avery and now yeah,
It all comes together.
I guess.
Well, now the three of us are in a Pathfinder group.
Yes.
A short, like Pathfinder
Yeah.
one shot.
It's like
That's nuts.
the worlds are overlapping.
Hell yeah.
Dreams are converging.
It's very
Don't let your
fun
dreams be
playing
dreams.
with like the same people that you're in one campaign with in another one.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you just
Yeah.
get to be like, oh, cool, you have a range of characters.
Yeah.
It's
me, all my-
especially if you go like one direction where you're just like, I'm very serious to I'm very goofy.
Yeah.
It's just me and a serious boy.
Yeah. You're like,
It's me, a
I
goof.
need to be on top of things all the time. And you're like, I throw my axe through the wall. And it's like, they said that the ale costs 2 silver. Okay.
I am gonna go fill up my water bottle.
Ooh,
I
I
should
should
also get
probably.
water.
Um,
Time for snacks.
Mine is
I
empty.
am.
Yeah.
Should we
I
switch
will
now?
also.
let's switch now.
Yeah. God, I'm gonna be sore tomorrow.
I'm still sore today. Oh wait, it's Sunday.
He's not on there right now.
No. I was gonna tell you that it's on Tyler.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Come. Aha! Chat. I have returned.
You just say shat?
I said, aha, chat.
Oh, chat.
Leave me alone.
No.
Greetings, Earthlings.
I have un shot. Oh,
God.
There's so many versions of that being said right now.
I know.
Hello,
It just
Bubba.
like electric shocked the shit out of her. I feel bad.
Hi.
They're both hanging out. Also, Archie is bigger.
Aw.
Who left the?
He's a big
Who left
boy.
the call?
I just like don't understand. Honestly.
Michael left.
What?
Oh no, he turned
No
off his
problem.
camera.
Yeah.
I'm so silly.
I love that he uses Strange Planet. That's hilarious.
But also, yes, he may have shat. I might have shat.
Sometimes it happens, you know?
It's so great to see all my friends. It's been a while.
It's also about Bermuda.
Yeah. For work. A lot of people were like,
Tell us.
Yeah.
a lot of people were like, "Oh, come on, you're on vacation again?" And I said, "No."
This is actually work.
Believe it or not, I'm not working, or I am working.
Oh, I can believe it.
Believe it. For you Naruto fans out there. Yeah.
Come love me.
Also, being in Bermuda for about a week, the amount of seafood that I've eaten, just
A lot?
the levels of mercury in my body have gone up exponentially.
What was the best thing you ate?
Probably a fish sandwich.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Our Airbnb was connected to a place called The Flame, and it was a takeout only restaurant, and they do a bunch of different food. And I'm trying to get on a work trip to Alaska, slightly different than Bermuda. Yeah, very different vibes. Blood is 30% mercury by weight.
Who said that? That's hilarious.
Fucking Kyle, you will unlock superpowers.
You ever just want to become a superhero? Eat
Yeah,
a lot
just
of fish.
fucking eat fish and drink blood.
Hey,
Oh
What's
my
up?
god.
I saw Tyler this weekend.
Tyler.
Tyler.
Your cousin?
My cousin?
Yeah. Tyler Willett?
Oh,
Isn't
he's
that
not
your
my cousin. No.
I thought he was your...
No, we're not related. Our parents are best friends. Where'd you see him? How do you know him?
Well, we met at the Greta Van Fleet concert.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and I saw him at the... We went to the same show this weekend.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
What
I
show
saw-
did you go to?
Streetlight Manifesto. It was
Nice.
it was my first punk show.
Yeah.
Fun.
It was fucking radical. I'm still
That's
kind
awesome.
all the like
Did you say hey?
jumping around. What?
Yeah.
Say hey to him?
Yes, I did.
Good.
I saw him like after the show, and there was that look of recognition of like, wait, I think I know you from somewhere. Yeah.
You know what's crazy that I just realized?
Mm.
Aaron's kids are as old, or one of them.
Real quick, the weather was great.
That is so weird.
What?
What?
So weird.
Yeah,
We're growing old with Aaron's kiddo.
that's
They're so cute. Oh my god.
They're so cute.
Wait, are we looking at a picture somewhere that I don't see?
yes.
Chat.
Oh,
Aaron's
They're
kids.
incredibly cute. That's amazing.
Yeah, I haven't
I
seen them in so long.
darling.
They're so
What
cute.
the heck?
They have a
t-
corgi blanket.
Oh, Aaron, that
I know.
I too Discord.
think it's just exceptional because we know Aaron, and I personally I have met his wife once, and she was
Yeah.
the nicest person.
Don't doubt
Um,
that.
Sometimes just
Oh,
seeing that, incredible.
Wow.
cute.
Cute.
Well, gang, we're all refreshed, feeling good, feeling ready to escape this forest.
I think I'm gonna live here.
Okay. Bye, Grog.
Grog!
This is where Grog
Goodbye.
leaves the party.
I'm a wob.
Good deal.
okay.
Write me out, Daniel.
It's like devastating, Loki.
Grog was so sad that he turned into a tree and he kept being a tree.
Yep.
Oh my god.
I think I have a spell for that. Do you want to be an actual tree?
Sure.
Sometimes it's just better to be a tree, you know?
Yeah.
Tree life.
In one of my first ever campaigns, I don't know if you guys have ever watched Lord of the Rings, but the giant ent, the tree creature thing.
Beard.
Yeah, Treebeard. I played one of those.
Ooh.
He was sick. Then he burned to death
Oh.
because
Ouch.
trees and fire.
Okay.
I was playing the Curse of Strahd, and in the castle there's a booby trap, and it does like 10d10 worth of fire damage, and I was like, cool.
Wow.
Yeah. Be
And
like,
that's-
oh, what level am I?
Yep.
First level sorcerer? Goodbye.
Yep. Rock on.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Like, I'm all flammable. I'm
Yeah.
a tree.
Like, oh, I have vulnerability to this, so shit.
And I didn't have the create water cantrip or
Yeah.
spell.
You're just like, multiple gallons on top of myself.
Double trouble.
Yeah. Oh, good. Okay. Okay. Callie just left. Never mind. I was about to read basically how this works, but
Sorry, I wanted my water.
it's all good. Okay. So skill challenges. They're something we haven't done before. They're from earlier editions of D&D, but unlike being in combat, this is more of an environmental thing. If I knew about these, I would have used them more when you were climbing the mountains, because it made more sense than the rolling a bunch of endurance things. So how this works is there's not really something for you guys to fight right now. You're just trying to get from point A to point B to get out of this forest so that people don't fart or don't start falling asleep and then turn into trees.
We're farting,
And,
guys.
I was gonna be able to hold it together.
Grog
And
is just fucking running away and
Ah,
shitting
damn.
his pants.
So,
My
with
God.
skill challenges, there's no initiative. but there are successes and failures. So there's a threshold for successes and threshold for failures. Successes, we're going for 7 because this is a hard challenge. And there's 5 failures. Um, uh, Successes and failures, whenever we reach that threshold, the skill challenge ends, and we will resolve the results as we go. Um, Doing a skill challenge, you will basically choose one of your skills to use, and it's much more of a fluid narrative. Uh, I have sort of described what this setting is like. The forest with lots of like leaves and kind of strange trees. Not much of it changes as you continue to go. So using the skills that you have, you can choose one and say, if you were trying to run a marathon, you would say, I'm going to use athletics to run really fast because I'm proficient in that. You say, okay, roll athletics. The DC is whatever. Pass it. Great, that's a success. The next person can't use athletics to run the marathon. So they say, okay, I'm going to use performance and do a little chant as I'm running to keep pace. And I'm like, okay, roll performance. They roll below the DC. They say, okay, that's a failure. So you have one success, one failure. And then the next person can't use athletics or performance, etc. And so we'll do that in a round, and we're not going to be rolling for NPCs, but we will roll for Shadow because he is a follower of the main cast. And this is basically going to reflect you guys trying to shepherd and lead these people that are starting to falter and sort of fall behind, to get them out of the woods as well as yourselves. So, uh, as you guys move through, who would like to start?
I will go first.
Okay.
Since this is just a forest and there's nothing to worry about.
I'm not in danger.
Mm.
Everything's
Well,
fine.
the tree looked sus, but I don't believe in fairy tales. No, not fairy tales isn't the right word because this is a freaking
You're
fantasy game.
literally the child. Your ancestor is a genie. Don't believe in fairy tales. There's literally fairies that you've probably met.
Fairies aren't real.
Yeah.
Tinkerbell dies.
I'm sorry. What is the skill you're using, and what are you doing with said skill?
What are we? We're just trying to get out of the woods.
Correct.
Okay. Roll to perform "Out of the Woods" by Taylor Swift.
Yes,
kidding.
that's exactly. Yes,
We're gonna
No,
die.
that doesn't apply.
Oh.
That doesn't.
it always applies.
I would like to sneak my way out of the forest. Use it. Can I use stealth?
Yeah,
Can I do that?
sure. The DC for this, because this is a difficult thing that you guys are trying to do, the DC is 14.
I got a 28.
28. Holy shit. Okay, what does a 28 look like for you as you help the folks sneak through the woods?
I feel like I would like to I don't know how to do this without using a spell, but I want to just float through the forest so we don't make any noise.
Yeah. So you, although this is like a skill challenge, you're basically it's reflecting you guys using everything that you have at your disposal to do this. So if you're like, I'm using this skill, but it just means I'm using my magic, however, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can
So
absolutely do
I
some
get
levitation stuff.
yeah. Yeah, can we just say that I do that or do I have to justify it
No,
with.
that's
'Cause
yeah,
I could
that's
cast
your
levitate, but it's
yeah, that's the thing. It's because this is just like it's a reflection of I'm using stealth by doing X thing. So
yeah.
yeah, you can absolutely if you use a spell, burn the spell slot. But otherwise it's just reflecting how you're doing this thing. So
Okay. All right.
otherwise, and you
That's
can
what I do.
because this is sort of an amorphous narrative thing, if uh divine casters, if you want to use your channel divinity somehow, like whatever resources that you guys have on hand that are class specific, you can use those as well, and then just spend those however you want, um, in the narrative fashion as you wish, because it's not something that you can just hit with an axe, as nice as that is.
Mm.
Uh, Okay, so you passed. You're able to levitate and move silently with a handful of folks uh, across here. People that are starting to nod off and lag behind. You can literally just like pick them up and sort of just like keep pace with the rest of them, instead of them fully falling down. Uh, Amazing. Who next? Because Zephyrus has used stealth. Any others? Any other skill besides that one?
I'll go next. I'm gonna
Okay.
use athletics.
Okay.
It's my highest one.
Sweet.
That's why I went with stealth.
Stealth isn't as bad, but I'm a big clunky boy.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. That's why I did it. I have a
Mm.
plus 11 to stealth.
Heck yeah! Oh my god! 11. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
A dang gazelle.
Yeah.
God.
Sorry. The other thing with this, much like the thresholds for what we did with the gauntlet, it gets harder each time. The DC increases. So it starts
Mhm.
at 14, and it will finish at 21
Sick.
because there's 7 rounds. So,
So we'll be
FYI.
able
Holy cow.
to. Are the
That's if
ones
you
that we can't use? Will they reset, or was it like we'll never be able to use it for all of the rounds?
That will happen at the end of the round.
Okay.
So it's
Gotcha.
like you go through. Fuck, I have to look at my notes for this. It resets, but not for you, I believe. So
Okay.
Zephyrus,
Gotcha.
So somebody else could use it.
yeah, someone else can use stealth in the next round.
Gotcha. Just not
But
right now.
Zephyrus will have to use something else. So you just have to keep
Mm.
a note of what you've used, by the time we come back around.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
I am gonna
Skill
use
challenge.
my new
Funky.
D20, baby.
Hell yeah.
So pretty.
It's so pretty.
Woo.
All right. Wish me luck.
Good job.
Okay.
I got a
The DC now
is 17.
17. Awesome. What does your athletics look like as
Str-
you do this?
Straight up like a fucking track runner. Takes position and like a dart books it.
Loser.
Grabs the nearest fucking NPC and just fireman throws him over the shoulder. We're getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah. So at this point, you see Warjo, who's this big minotaur that tried to revive Azilia, has like just kind of like sat down and is just like kind of taken off his pack and is starting to just like eat something. Grog notices this, sprints back, fully picks up this minotaur, and then sprints back to the front
Yeah.
of the pack and deposits him to keep up with the rest. Okay,
Put your shit
so
away,
that
dude.
is 2 successes. Who's next?
Wait, so I'm asleep?
No,
Oh, okay.
no.
Sorry,
I was just saying in the battle, Warjo was the big
oh.
minotaur who was like, "I'll help," and then he didn't get the medicine check.
Yeah. So can I cast a spell right now?
Mhm.
Can I cast Speak with Plants?
Yeah.
I'd like to know things.
Okay.
So,
Speak
Speak with Plants is you imbue plants within 30 feet of you with limited sentience and animation, giving them the ability to communicate with you and follow your simple commands. You can question plants about events in the spell's area within the past day, gaining information about creatures that have passed, weather, and other circumstances. I can also turn the terrain into a difficult area to pass, but I'm not really going for that right now.
Right.
Plants might be able to perform other tasks on your behalf at the GM's discretion. This spell doesn't enable plants to uproot themselves and move about, but they can freely move branches, tendrils, and stalks.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'd like to do
Sure.
that.
Yeah. So what are you asking the plants?
I would like to ask them what happened to that tree. Like, what has happened here? Like, what was that creature? What was the? Do I need to stick with one thing first?
Yeah, the trees here, because they're sort of this fey land, they
Mhm.
don't communicate in like a common
Okay.
tongue. You get sort of impressions as
Okay.
though a tree would sort of sense and understand.
Okay.
You get the sense of uh like you sort of like give the impression of like I saw a tree that looked like it was made of fur and sap that was blood,
Hmm.
and you sort of get the vision of small animal, warm, four legs,
Hmm.
fell behind, fell asleep, tree grew out of it, a tree that was not a tree, a being
Oh,
came, it cut down the tree, it took the tree's life, and then left.
what?
What?
What is the Appalachia? Okay. Oh, that's very interesting. What was the creature that took the life?
Uh, as you kind of press for that, you get the sensation of a two heavy footfalls striding purposefully through the deep leaves. Uh, a large, what used to be a tree, but it's not a tree anymore, connected to something that used to be deep in the earth, but is now large and flat and bites into trees with a claw that is stronger than any stone that can be uprooted, stronger than any wind that has struck the tree, with ferocity that the trees have never known except for in great tempests and great distress.
Huh?
Where did it go?
The creature,
Yeah.
you get the impression of the creature departing after taking the life force, uh,
Mhm.
inspecting the ground and air, much like a another four-legged creature would,
Hmm.
sniffing and smelling bark and leaves, reaching and using its bigger paws that it can grasp the trees with and grasp the wood and earth to feel and touch and sense. And it moves towards another tree that is not a tree, that has been a four-legged or a two-legged creature that has now become another tree that is not a tree.
Okay.
It's so
Uh,
cryptic and yet so clear at the same time.
okay. I'm trying to
I
think
will
of.
also say you also get the sensation of where it goes. Um, the trees also notice that they can recognize sunlight that is not sunlight, but the sunlight is in pain.
What? What?
What does that mean? Okay. Uh,
Like Scoob, we're totally fucked.
trying to think of what else I want to ask.
It's time to run.
Does anyone else want to ask the plants things?
I fucking booked it, bro.
Have any questions? Anyone that's still around?
We'll say that you're kind of like asking the trees this as you're walking through. Like this is
Okay.
Azalea sort of like pressing a hand onto a tree and like getting these impressions as you walk through different portions of the forest. I will say if you want to use one of your skill checks to like find one of those trees, I would allow that as like a using a skill challenge to like find one of these trees somehow.
Find one of the not trees.
Trees that aren't a tree. Yeah.
Okay. Oh man, which one? Perception?
Perception would work. Yeah, if you're looking for it. Trying to see what you can see.
21.
21. Hell yeah. Um, what kind of tree are you looking for in this moment? Like what on a 21, are you looking for something that looks to be interesting? Are you looking for one that has bark that looks like fur or bark that looks like flesh?
Oh. Oh. Oh God. Uh um I don't know. Didn't know that was an option. Now I'm more scared. Uh,
I can just roll a d20 for you.
yeah, go ahead, because I
Okay.
can't decide.
Sure. We'll say above 10. I'll say above 15. It'll be flesh.
Okay.
It's the 7.
Should have said flesh.
Eventually, you find a tree. I'm going to roll another check real quick. Another tree that has been felled. Older one. The bark that is much more like fur is more coarse and is sort of like shriveled and started to like fall off. But you were able to find one of these trees that are not a tree. What would you like to ask it?
It's alive.
It's dead. It's been felled.
Oh. Okay. Um, do you know what befelled you?
Uh, you get the impression in a much more like sapient way, uh, a tall figure dressed in clothing that are similar to what an pretty much everyday farmhand that you've walked by. Um, but in the dim light, all they could really see was simple garb, a giant axe, broad shoulders, and the last thing that they saw was a lantern being set and sort of shining on their face before a massive axe struck them 3 times.
Okay. Okay. How large was the creature? Do they know?
You get the impression that it was the size of just an average humanoid.
Mm.
Hard to tell because the tree in dim light, all it can focus on is this pinprick of light, the small lantern that the creature carries.
Mm. Okay.
And I
That's
will
great.
say on a, what did you roll for the perception?
One.
21. I will say on a above 20, you the tree also gives you the impression that although the footsteps that fall on the leaves make no noise. The creature itself does make a noise, a pleasant breeze from its uh, space around its head.
Oh god. It makes a sound of a breeze?
It whistles.
Okay.
I'm out.
Okay. Um, all the time?
With the impression that you're getting, it does that as it begins to approach the tree.
Great.
Starts dancing nervously.
Okay. That's creepy. Thank you, tree.
Okay. That
Rest in
is three successes. We've got Rock and Ada. You're up. Who would like to go the DC? We started at 14. We hit 15 and 16. This one is now 17. Oh, you are muted, Micah.
I can go. I was trying to unmute myself, but then remuted myself.
Okay.
Um, I think I want to do persuasion.
Okay. What do
Um,
you, how are you going to use persuasion for this?
I think I'd want to like look like just like take on like body posturing of just like hesitant, but also like please just let us pass. Like we don't want anything from you. Like we don't want to do anything. Like we just are trying to pass, kind of thing, and just trying to like mumble that under my breath. Is like I don't know where you are,
Okay.
but
Sure.
please
Yeah.
just let us pass.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and roll that persuasion.
23.
23. Amazing. So as you go along and start kind of like saying that, putting that sort of like thought out there, you do get the sensation that this weight and sort of oppressive, mm, not like, not a sense of like despair, but just like you almost feel like defeated in that this is taking so much longer than you thought it would. And people are so tired and so just like lethargic, except for your friends that are elves in this moment, because they can't be put to sleep by magical means. So those other elves that are with you, they also start being like, okay, we just gotta put this energy out and maybe this magic will help us pass. And a little bit of that weight that you feel lifts just enough that you guys are able to keep going further along. And that is now four successes. You are three away. Ada, it's on to you.
I'm going to use survival.
Okay. How are you going to use survival for this?
I will be blending into the forest while nervously dancing and utilizing leaves to blend
Okay. Hell yeah.
for a means of survival.
She's pulling a Peter Millark.
Facts.
Okay. Let's see that performance.
Oh no.
Go get your tap shoes, Stella. We know you can.
Oh, what was it? I don't have
I
it
don't
pulled up.
remember where they are to be. Well, actually, just kidding. They're in the closet.
Uh, oh, survival 17. You are one below. So as you start to sort of like dance through this magical forest, gathering the leaves and just pulling on a little bit of that autumn eladrin magic that you have, these sort of like disguises that you're trying to create for people to make them just feel a little bit more comfortable in this magical forest. The wintry cold that sort of is native to you now that you've been holding onto this icy visage, the leaves as you try and like mold them into a way that you used to be able to so easily. It was just innate. Now the leaves sort of like crack and crumble in your hands as they frost over. Uh,
Well, that's sad.
It's pretty
uh,
disappointing.
and that's the first failure. Uh,
Sorry, guys.
the round resets. The skills that you guys have used, you can't use them again yourself, but someone else can.
How many times are we doing this?
You are doing this until you have 7 successes or 5 failures. And this first failure, you see the first handful of the people who are with you. I will say Ada, with that failure, go ahead and roll me a d4.
Get a low number.
Yeah, you want a low number.
No.
We're all,
Oh no.
they're all dead.
Oh no.
You, at this point, further along, 4 people lie down or sort of like lean up against another tree, uh, or just fully slump over, fall into a deep sleep that you are not able to wake them from, and you have to leave them behind.
Well,
As we move into the next round, who would like to start? Because you didn't hit the DC of 18, the DC is still 18.
somebody with a really high something they can use.
Can I use acrobatics?
Yeah.
I'm going to. It's another plus 11.
That expertise, baby.
Oh.
I'm going to like on the tips of my toes, like hop over the branches and over the logs and from moss patch to moss patch. To twinkle toes my way through the forest.
Okay. Awesome. Trying to keep it light and spirited.
I am
Amazing.
doing well right now, guys.
So
That's another fail.
we are at now 5 successes as
Good.
Zephyrus is able
30-20.
to Zephyrus is able to find a path of least resistance, somewhat sort of dancing between paths and sort of making a game out of it, so as to not lead to more just pure drudgery step by step. It's stone by stone or stepping from root to root, focusing on foot placement instead of just one foot in front of the other. A little bit of focus, a little bit of acrobatics to keep people motivated. Fantastic. Who next? You
I'll
need
roll
2 more
survival.
successes.
I'll roll
Not
survival.
me.
Yeah.
No.
Wait, the dog's not in here?
I'll
No, he's
go.
out there.
Okay. So you used
And
perception last time.
yes. I'm rolling survival this time.
Okay.
And I climb up a tree with it?
Survival's more like tracking stuff or
Okay.
finding like trails and things like that. Climbing a
Okay.
tree would be like, or what are you trying to do with climbing a tree? You
Um,
tell me what I want to do and I'll work with you.
Survive.
Survive.
Aren't we all?
We're you're trying to get out of the forest, so I would say you
I'm
could if you climb up and try and
so I'm
find.
trying to climb up and then like over branches, so like move via trees.
Okay. Um, you're
Physically tree
trying to
stride.
do that's more of a solo thing. You're trying to get the rest of the group to do
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
While you're the most sort of athletic in the trees, most other people are struggling to keep one foot in front of the other.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah. If you want to use
Um,
survival some other way, I would allow
I'll
that.
use survival to maybe track a path out.
Okay. Find an easier path
Yeah.
than where you are. Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
More difficult because this is the 6 out of 7. So DC
Hmm.
19 now.
Yeah, that's a 13.
Okay. Uh 13, you go and you kind of scout ahead, find a better trail that starts to lead you off. Uh and people are moving a little bit faster, but eventually you find yourselves a little bit turned around and you realize that you've just gone in a loop and you've lost some time. And I need you to also roll a d4.
Oh no. Roll a low number.
Jinx me. It's a 1.
A 1. Um,
I mean,
as
it's a
you regroup and realize you've doubled back, someone else is missing.
Oh.
Uh, who next? We've had Zephyrus and Azilia.
I'll go. I'll go.
Okay.
Okay. I have two things.
Okay.
I would like to see if I can use not a I guess it's more of an ability than
Hmm.
anything else. Um, I would like to activate my divine sense and as an action, you can detect good and evil. Anything you sense affected by the Hallow spell or know the location of any, yeah, celestial fiend or undead. Great. I wasn't using it to identify like fiends or undead, or maybe I
Yeah.
am. Just more or less
The
to
creature is
flavor.
definitively a fae
Okay.
for you. So yeah.
Um, just to see if I can just pick out anything. Like,
Sure. Yeah, I would say divine sense. Go ahead and whatever your spell attack modifier is,
what is that?
uh,
That is
or what is
a plus
what do you use
six.
to cast spells?
Charisma, I think.
Charisma? Okay.
It's a plus six. My
Yeah.
spell attack DC.
Okay. Cool. So we'll say mm, use use a +6.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I would allow hmm,
Mm-hmm.
I would say +6, and if you want to use Arcana or
Okay.
Religion,
Woof. Okay.
but it would basically just you can roll it, but just like roll a d20 and add 6. But we'll say this is Arcana or Religion.
Okay. That's a fucking nat 20, baby.
Nat 20.
That's a 26.
Natural 20. Okay, that's 6 successes. Uh, you release some of this divine sense that you have into
Mm-hmm.
this forest. And I will say on a nat 20, you kind of like reach out meditatively for a moment, and maybe a mile away, uh, you hear very distinctly a axe thudding into a tree 3 times, and the tree crashing to the ground, as well as there's a pause and no longer crashing, uh, just gentle whistling of a tune that you recognize from your days in the army, which is just a simple soldier's marching tune.
Grog's gonna exhale. I know, like,
And then
in
you're
which direction
snap
it's in.
back. Yes, you know which direction the woodsman is now. So say on a natural 20, you're able to point the group away from that specifically.
Yeah. Or we
And
go towards it.
you want to fight an archfey?
Maybe some other time.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll let the party know. In this direction, we'll steer clear, and we'll just
Okay.
go.
We're at 6 successes. The DC that we've gone through, we started at 14. So now we're on to 21.
Oh god.
Final DC.
Does anyone have plus 15?
I think Hallie is the closest with 11.
Yeah.
I thought I was high with
used both.
6.
Yeah, I have
You know, my highest is 6.
I have +7.
+7s and that's it.
Damn.
I have a +10 to deception.
Yeah, that rogue expertise. It's clutch.
Yep.
So I have a +7 to animal handling or perception.
I have a +8 to perception.
So right now, this is the end of this round. We've got Ada and Rock for the last one.
Real quick, as a paladin, my religion is a +1. And that is all.
Hey, sometimes the spirit doesn't come from,
Yep.
that book learning.
Yep.
Comes from the heart.
Comes from the heart. Your grit.
I'll try.
Okay.
Why the heck not? I would love my mouse to work. Okay. I am gonna try to use deception,
Okay.
and I'm going to try to deceive everyone into thinking they're not tired.
That's awesome.
Okay.
You know how when you're really tired and then you like get to a point where you're like, I'm not even tired anymore, but it's because you're so exhausted.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
I'm gonna try to like deceive
well.
people that
You're
they're
gonna-
not tired.
Reverse psychology, like 100
Basically
people.
all of college.
Okay.
Yeah.
All of college.
Okay.
Like we've been up for so long, like the second wind's gonna kick in, right? Like you're not even
Second
tired.
wind. The second wind.
Okay.
I can
Yeah.
win at like 2 a.m.
Go ahead for that.
Fuck. It's a nat one.
What? Oh my fucking god.
Yo.
Okay.
Ugh.
Like,
So-
yes, you are tired.
On a natural 1, I think, Rock, you try. You give a lot of effort to this, but the people that you saved before, you're really good at hyping people up, but all of the like bubbly energy that you use to be like, you're not even that tired, they can tell. And you see it in their eyes that like they know that they're not going to make it out of here. As much as you try and cheer these people up, I'm going to say you've lost 5 so far. I'll say roll a d6. this time.
Someone in chat said, "Wow, massive bonus." So sorry.
Oh, thank God. Is a
Just
one.
one. As defeated as these people are, you only see, as you continue, just one person, the kobold that had helped you fight before, stops walking with his kind of spear and uh, says, I think I stay, and then just walks into the woods away from the rest of the party. Uh, and you are down one more. So that's another failure on the books. Ada, we have 3 failures, 6 successes. The DC is still 21.
I am gonna go for intimidation,
Okay.
which may not be the wisest choice, but I have dead leaves in my hands.
Is it a
So I
+6?
will be running around throwing all the dead leaves everywhere in attempts to intimidate people.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's see it.
I don't want to talk.
Can
Once
I
again, a
wait
17.
before we hear what happens? Can
Mhm.
I use bend luck?
Uh, yes, I would allow that.
Okay.
It's the D4 thing
Yeah.
as a reaction to it.
Yeah.
Get a 4.
Because I'd have to get a 4.
Okay.
Happened before.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Do it.
I am so stressed.
Do it.
It's a 3! God, dang it.
So, Ada, what is it that you are trying to do with this intimidation as you go around with these frozen dead leaves in your hands?
I am intimidating, insinuating death with these dead leaves.
Okay. So,
Insinuating that I have the power to kill things.
awesome.
Uh,
Uh, as you do this, you see it starts to motivate a handful of people, uh, and you see them falter for a minute as this cleric of the goddess of death threatens them with the eternity that is waiting for them no matter what. And you see a handful of them sort of waver on just accepting this fate to be taken by this creature that exists that was just a story for most of them. Uh, and as they waver, Brock tries to pull just a little bit of the weave into your performance here, giving this exposition of what you are sort of known for as a cleric, but you see the light in their eyes somewhat go out as they just accept that as far as they've gone, they cannot go any further. And a few of them just kind of shrug and say, well, maybe we'll see your lady on the other side. Um, I'm just going to lie down for now. And I need you to roll me another d4, please. So this is going to be the last roll
Oh,
for
thank God it's
the
a 1.
skill challenge. Okay, cool. So just one more. Just that last person is it. We're
Well,
back at the top of the round. This is going to be the last roll of the skill challenge. You're at 6 successes. 4 failures.
Oh my god.
I have 1 7 left I can use. Does anyone have a higher one?
So everything's reset. So can I use deception now?
Oh.
Yes, because you haven't used it in the past, and this is a new round.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have a +10 to deception.
Okay. So 11 or
So
higher
okay.
on the die.
I'm going to
Can I cast
do
guidance or anything? Is that a spell that I have?
I think she's got it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
well, don't jinx me. So I'll tell you what I'm gonna do, and then I'll roll.
Sure.
So I've got prestidigitation. So I'm gonna use prestidigitation to like make fake footprints appear going in one direction in the forest. So it's like we've gone that way, leading whoever's like tracking us astray.
Okay. Intimidation, or is
No,
that deception?
that's deception, yeah.
Deception? Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that tracks.
Okay.
Okay. Last roll of this skill challenge. 26.
Oh my god.
Amazing.
Oh my god.
Half and still win.
So Zephyrus sort of hanging back, you're able to use this prestidigitation to cover the footsteps of this group that you have pretty much brought through this forest and create a separate set as you're sort of hopping from rock to rock, creating this impression in sort of a muddy bank. And doing so, obscuring the trail, you see the last bit of sunlight disappearing from the tops of the trees, getting back to your group, the rest of the party. As Zephyrus rejoins you, you see the trees start to thin as you come through this enchanted forest to the edge of a lake with a single rowboat pulled up on the shore, flipped over, 2 oars. Pretty large lake here with just a sort of like mid-sized island in the middle of it with a bunch of sort of like standing stones on it. Not the kinds that we know from Stonehenge with like the arches, but they're like almost like the jaws of a giant creature. They're sort of like curving up. Um,
Nobody touch the water. Stay away from the shore.
Grog does a
Uh,
cannonball.
and because it is dim light now, it's pretty much past sunset. We're into dusk. You can
Can I
see
cast daylight?
little. You want to cast daylight on the edge of this lake?
No, well, okay, so maybe not.
Fucking shoot a rescue flare into the sky.
Whatever, I can see far anyway. Fuck you all.
Yeah, in the darkness, you can see some sort of like bobbing lights. Anyone who did not fail uh, in that, I think you are sort of energized enough at this point to make a perception check. Those of you that did fail, I don't think you really have the desire to press on beyond making camp.
Perception check.
Yeah. As you kind of like reach the edge of this lake.
A 24.
I got an
Goddamn.
11.
Grog's
Okay.
eyes are still glowing white, baby.
Grog, you looking out at this lake, you recognize those glowing little like bobs of lights are will-o-wisps, which are
Oh.
sort of like spirits of the dead that are sort of these weird little. Sometimes they're thought to be like little evil spirits,
Mm-hmm.
but it's
It's not the brave.
kind of up in the air. They're a mythological creature, but yes, they
Mm-hmm.
are both good and bad.
Mm-hmm.
They're just these sort of like souls that decided to not pass on and decided to stay. It's somewhat malicious or somewhat helpful.
Mm.
Hard to say because they're weird little like bits of a soul that decided to stay. But you can see some of those, uh, as well as I will say, Ada, your brother's sword that you've been carrying. Where are you carrying that?
I am carrying it in my bag.
Okay. Uh, as the uh, Grog is sort of like at the edge of the water, Rock and Zephyrus and Ada, you're uh, sort of like helping set up with camp. I think Zephyrus, you also go to sort of like peer out at the lake, but it's just a little bit too distant for you to recognize what this weird little globes are. So just kind of shrug. Um, but you guys notice as you're sort of setting up camp that uh, Ada's bag is like soaked. And as Ada, like you open it, the sword itself is like just wet with water, sort of like condensation over it,
Yeah.
as though it's just collecting moisture from the air and is just like slick with water. And
That's weird.
as you are holding it, um, I would say that Zephyrus, you probably don't just like shrug and walk away. Maybe just like shrug and you're standing there with Grog for a second. You see just one ripple pulse out from the center of the lake. Um, and just like one pulse comes out, hits the shore. Uh, and at the same moment, all of the water on your brother's sword evaporates in just a little bit of just like steam.
Okay.
And that's where we'll end for tonight.
No, we have to play next week. Come on. 2 weeks is too
I
long.
uh I would that I could. I actually have Mondays off now, thankfully,
Oh.
which is good. But yeah, first skill challenge, gang. How we
was fun.
feeling?
Yay!
That
was
was
fun.
really
Cool.
cool.
That's exciting.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah, not
It was
not
I
so
like
much.
coming up with
Yeah, it's less dice roll to like I hit him with my sword and more narrative stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I
It's very
like
fun.
coming up with creative ways to like do a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah,
Mm.
I want to do this
Same.
thing and like justifying or like trying to figure out how you can add flavor to your own skills checks.
yeah, because it's like I love the like I'm gonna use a spell to talk with the plants. It's like awesome, and this is gonna reflect
Mm.
information that you're gathering for like whatever skill check that you do. And it's very fun to do something different. I'm glad you guys liked it.
Yeah, it was super fun.
Very much.
Awesome. Let's do stars and wishes real quick, and then we'll do inspiration after that. We start with
Stars.
Zephyrus,
Me. Okay,
or roses and thorns.
star.
Up to you. Which one we do?
I'm gonna do the star.
Okay.
Star for what I just said actually. That I like adding flavor to skills and stuff, and then also that like kind of gave me the chance to justify my like flavor by looking in my like what my spells or like what I can do. Like I don't think I've yet used prestidigitation. So that was kind of cool. Be a little sneaky doing that. And then wishes is I decided to use some of my warlock features, spells or whatever, and kind of play a little bit of a different like I don't know how to say it, but like cuz the I've got some new stuff, different stuff that I can do that's less like less roguey and more warlocky like the
Yeah.
sanctuary thing or like just different like just play it a little bit differently, which is kind of gives it my character playing a little bit more nuance now that I've gotten used to what I'm doing. Kind of adds a little another layer to it, which is nice to change it up a little bit, but not totally change it up. So that's mine.
Hell yeah. Sweet.
And
Popcorn it to the next person.
Micah.
Cool. Definitely stars for the like skills based challenge. That was really cool to like. I know that we all like rolling dice and we all like the lore stuff, and sometimes it feels like you have to choose one or the other. And so it's nice to be able to like kind of fold those in together and like approach it from a different perspective, but also like with stakes and with the dice rolls, like still getting that like the dice are telling the story kind of thing. So that was really cool. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. I have no wishes. This was so fun and so great. I had such a great time. Everyone is so good, so fun. I'm gonna pass it to Daniel because he never gets to go in the middle.
Oh
Oh my
wow.
goodness.
Ooh,
Wow.
plot
Ooh
Oh,
twist.
wee.
throwing me off.
Whoa.
Goodness. I think the star was I really liked it it was really interesting to see how Azalea used talk with plants,
Mm.
because that's a spell that we haven't
Mm-hmm.
seen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was really I mean, I know I was the kind of put on, I mean, as the GM, you're kind of always put on the back foot because I can't prepare for anything that five people are going to do. Um, but I was really excited that Azealia went with that route for part of her turn, to try and glean some information and help with what you guys know about this creature that you've evaded. Um, so that was very cool. Definitely my star. I think my wish um, would just be that my uh, a little bit of my preparation for this, I I tried to peel it back from it being as just like lore dump heavy in the first half of the session, because I was like, I know I need to give you guys this exposition, um, like categorically, so that you know what's at stake at this
Mm.
point, because you have one person here. And it's like, I always wish I could have made it more concise. Um, but I realized, I was telling Grog before this, I was talking with Seth, and I was like, hey, do you want to have this interaction, or do you want me to just give you bullet points? Uh, and he said, let's do it as a scene, like a conversation. I was like, okay, sweet. So we'll do that. Um, so I like doing that, but I wish I had more instances to sort of have these like
Mm.
one-on-one scenes with you guys where it gets to be
Mm.
like a conversation, uh,
Mm-hmm.
which is like yeah, I want to work with NPCs more and have those sort of like deep conversations with you guys. I think is much more fun than as much as I love describing a creepy fey creature that cuts down uh, trees made of people. Um, it's also fun to play a big dumb strong lady. Uh,
Hey, don't call her
the
dumb.
Who you calling dumb?
She's got an intellect of 8, I believe.
Hey, man.
Oh
So
no.
We gotta start somewhere. Maybe she's street
yeah, she's
smart.
clever. She doesn't have that book reading, book learning.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think that's my wish. I wish more of my exposition stuff can come from conversations. Something to work towards, I think. I will popcorn it up to Haley.
Okay, so using a new spell definitely was a star for me because I do have them all cataloged. Yes, that's a word. Cataloged in my head. And I'm like, wait, there's something about yes, and then yeah. So that was fun to be able to use that today because I have wanted to use that. I just have never had like a reason to, and it seemed like a good reason. But tied into that was the descriptions of everything that Daniel gave about the creature, and that you had to keep coming up with it on the spot. I don't know how much you actually had already in your mind about it, but that was a huge star as well. The descriptions of it and making me be like, oh, what? Like what the fuck? I'm trying to picture it, and then you're like, it's like this, and I'm like, no, that's not what I was thinking at all.
Yeah.
Describe whistling without describing
Yeah.
whistling.
Yeah. So I was like, well, I could just be like a really creaky tree, or I could, because of course I've watched a fucking nature documentary where it's like trees recognize like all kinds of things, but they recognize it really slowly. So it'd be like,
Right.
what is they can also recognize like when they're being cut down or when another tree is being cut down,
Oh,
but it's very, very
That's like
slow
so
to
actually
recognize.
depressing.
devastating.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah. But it's,
Gnawing,
or
biting.
it might not, let me roll that back. So the thing that they can recognize is one tree can communicate through the mycelium that a certain
Yeah.
parasite is eating their stuff, and
Mhm.
it'll tell other trees to release a toxin or something
Mhm.
that basically is sort of like a natural pesticide. It'll make
Yeah.
the pest just like not eat that tree.
You guys
Um,
haven't
That's
watched that
actually really
show
interesting.
on
yeah,
Netflix, you need to watch it because it's mind blowing.
yeah,
Which one
yeah.
is
So
So
it?
that
What is it?
It's like the Mycelium Network or
it's
something.
fantastic fun guy
Fantastic
might be
fungi.
the yeah that's yeah because of course
Yeah.
that stuck in my brain forever. I'm like that's the coolest fucking
It's
thing.
so fucking cool.
So
It's
yeah,
so
it was
cool.
really pulling from the deep recesses of 2021 uh
Cool.
documentaries to be like, how do trees think? um
No, that was
Is that the
very
same thing
cool.
that like fungi or plants can like understand you? Is that the same thing?
Oh, that's
uh
a mushroom.
Yeah.
yeah, that's a mushrooms and like other plants, they're connected through this like sort of like spider web root network.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the plants can talk to each other. I don't know how they talk to or how they understand people as much. I just know that they can send information when they have this like big old root network,
Yeah,
which
it's
is
really
very
cool.
cool.
Yeah. That was my star. Your descriptions of things connected to that little sequence of events. That was really fun.
Mm.
Um wish I had higher skill points. The virus
Yeah,
with your plus 11s, whatever.
Yeah, I just need to
yeah.
multi-class into rogue, I guess.
Good lord. Oh
Hey,
man.
the one level dip of rogue is intense. As soon as you get those expertises. It's rad.
Yeah, fuck, I guess.
Only problem is they are so niche. If you
Right.
dip into rogue and there's another rogue in the party, you're just like, well, you have the higher of this thing. And it's just like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm not even gonna try because you have the higher one. So it's
Mm.
tricky. But it's also fucking rad to have expertise and stuff.
Yeah, your proficiency bonus is doubled for any ability check you make that uses any of the chosen proficiencies, and my chosen proficiencies are stealth and deception.
Boom.
Goddamn.
Yeah. You can
Nice.
lie and sneak everywhere.
Sneaky. I'm a sneaky
Um,
liar.
My other wish is that we can play next week, but I understand if people cannot. And now I'm going to popcorn it to Stella.
Hello.
Hello again.
Stars. For me, like everyone else, I really, really appreciated like the skills aspect of this and like us really being able to like roll our die and like because I feel like obviously we do in general and like when we're in battle, but it's really cool to kind of like utilize the skills that we have in such a way. And I really thought it was fun coming up with how the skills are being implemented because you could really take it anywhere. And it was, I really appreciated like the, I guess, allowance of creativity for us. It's like sometimes, especially like when we're in battle, it's like kind of more limited, which is like not a bad thing because I enjoy it. But it was like really cool to kind of have that
Yeah,
kind of experience.
for sure. If I was gonna do a second star, it would be also that like plus one to that star. It's rad to flavor things
Mm.
outside of
Yeah,
combat. It
yeah,
was awesome to see all of that.
yeah.
Yes.
And then wishes. I would say like I second your wish, Daniel, where like I really think it would be cool to have like more lore stuff that's like in communication with like one of us because I thought that was like really cool and engaging as well. Not that it's engaging, like not engaging otherwise, but it just like I mean, I feel like it just adds more flavor to it, you know.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I don't know what else
Yeah. No, that's
to
good. I will
say.
yeah, no, I will for sure do that more because I realized it was really fun. It was really fun to uh flesh out Aaliyah to give her
Mm.
a little bit of like that
Mm-hmm.
stuff and then just get to play her as like the one person in this scene um
Yeah,
uh in the beginning. That's fun. Uh yeah.
It's cool too to like interact with NPCs who like whether they're like already established or not, like that are NPCs that are from our characters' backgrounds or like connected in some way to like one of us, even if it's not something
Mm-hmm.
that's already been established. I think it was
Yep.
really cool.
Mm,
absolutely.
yeah, for sure. Um ba, ba, ba. Awesome. Well, I will um
Did Seth
Seth's
go?
turn.
oh, Seth, my goodness.
Hi. Hi, friends. I'm
Our
here.
star boy.
I'm still here. Pretty
Still
much. Pretty much.
I exist.
I'm here too. Yeah, I really the biggest star I think I have is Daniel in general because he never
Aw.
fucking ceases to amaze me in this campaign. It's fucking
Wow.
amazing. Yeah, I'm gonna just
What a love
brown.
story.
I'm
That's
gonna
so
brown
sweet.
What a love story.
brown nose the DM hard. Because we had texted or we had talked like a couple days ago about like what we wanted to do, and having that little like sidebar between Aaliyah and Grog. Also, just that character development was really cool to like witness and see, and then also to tie in practically the whole reason why we're all together, and like how like we all came to be, and how the Empire affected us, and like the war and everything, was really cool to kind of just deep dive for a second. So that was really cool. Star for the entire like experience, whatever word you want to call it, the skill challenge. Wish we could fucking see what this goddamn creature looked like. Low key wanted to fight it. Low key wanted to just see it and then run away.
Oh, it's so unusual of you. Huh?
Yeah,
Character.
weird.
Strange.
Yeah.
'Cause
I'm glad I telegraphed. Do you want to fight an archfey?
Yeah.
When you,
Not at all.
No.
yeah.
Not
I kind
at all.
of wanted to. I'm
No.
not gonna lie. I'll take the Minotaur and we'll just go together. Whatever. If he dies, he dies. If Grog's time is up, that's fine. I've accepted it.
I could always
I don't
drown
accept-
myself, and maybe we could do Archfey versus Arch.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh man.
It,
Shit,
That'd
dog.
be the ultimate battle.
it'd be kind of cool. Yeah, I'm interested to see what these will-o-wisps are. I'm excited for what's next. Really no like major wishes other than to see this fucking Archfey. Yeah, that's all I got, gang. Star to be
Okay.
back.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. I'm also excited about the will-o-wisps. Those are fun. Glad I finally got to put them somewhere because they're so small and they're so cute, but I never got to use them in anything until now, and I'm excited. Whomst among you already has inspiration on your character sheet? Because I forget who we gave it to
I think
last
I
time.
used it.
I think I used it last time, whatever I
Yeah.
had.
Okay. So, or who? So no one has it right now? Okay. Cool. I am going to roll the D6, and if I roll a 3, I re-roll it. And the people I roll, you will award inspiration to your fellows. It's going to be Stella and Hallie.
Yay.
You get to award inspiration to your fellows.
Wait, so we get to award it?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to give it to Azealia for talking to the trees.
That's what I was
For
gonna do.
basically being the Lorax.
Oh, I should go get
Speak to the trees.
my Lorax. One sec. I gotta bring it in.
Wait, she's got a Lorax?
Heck yeah.
I have a Lorax tree.
What? How did I not know
Not
this?
really
This is
tree.
incredible.
I literally have had this for a while. It has been with me every place I have lived, including in the dorms at UMaine.
Oh my god, that's so cute.
That's wow. Holy shit. That's amazing.
Wow.
I love that.
Wow.
If I didn't know that was a Lorax tree, I would think it was a just straight up a cat toy or
Like that's something you get at
Yeah.
the Scholastic Book
I
Fair.
think that's
Yes.
fair.
Oh my god. I was like,
I'm gonna be
it's
honest.
one of those
I
pencil
bought it on
things.
the
It's a pencil
street
topper.
At Venice Beach.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
I'm gonna award inspiration
to rock this time.
Bye.
Amazing. So, Azealia and Rock, you have inspiration. And then next time we will I will re-roll at the end of the session. But if I hit if you guys don't have if you still have inspiration at the end of the session, I'll re-roll your number. That's how we're gonna do inspiration going forward. And or excuse me, no, the people that awarded inspiration, if I hit their number next time, I will re-roll so that they have an opportunity to do it,
Nice.
to be awarded. Okay, great. To give you guys sort of a idea of where we're gonna be going with this last part of this arc,
Going on
um,
a bear hunt.
we're probably just gonna do the one session, getting to the Waygate, because that's going to be its own sort of challenge to get that done. And you'll be back in the city with the queen, where you will be rewarded, and you guys will level up after completing this quest for her. When we get there, we're going to do kind of up to you guys, but I do have this next arc planned out. And I will give you guys a heads up now if you want to, because it is going to tie into Ada's backstory. If this thing, which is going to be sort of a personal quest for Ada to solve her curse, to do that, if you guys want to go with her on this, or if Ada would want to do it with some of her former Feywild friends, who you guys would play if we do a backstory one shot.
That would be
Ooh.
cool.
So you guys would be
I like that.
basically, we would do basically a first level, like probably like a two shot with you guys, with Ada. So be like a long time ago, when you guys knew each other. And this would be sort of like in the thing, it would be more of like Ada is doing this with people from the Feywild to solve this, and you guys would be able to go sort of back to the material plane and deal with stuff there.
Mhm.
If you would be interested in that, or if you guys would want to do something with just your characters, this core group of the six. How are you guys feeling, like temperature wise? Good, bad?
If we go with the one shot route, there's a race that I would love to petition to play as. Unless
Okay.
you, and
Yeah, so
it's these guys, the fucking rabbit people.
so these guys would be the ones that a while ago I pulled you guys about doing the backstory one shots like we did with Grog and those guys. And so we picked uh I gave all of you guys like a big old list of the people. And each of you like picked who your friends were. So I believe they've all been
Picked.
allocated to people. There might be like one or two, but they would be the ones that are in there. I can find the list again. But it's the Feywild friends. I think they would just have FF in front of their name
Yeah.
in your character. Um, so yeah, it'll just be a first level version of Ada, and then all you guys, and then yeah, if you can find it, if they should be in like your my characters
Found it.
section. Yep.
I'm a
Cool.
cleric.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
The satire, the
Satyr.
satyr.
Yeah. If
Mr.
you're
Tumnus.
feeling that you want to do that, I did I split them up so that you do have like a kind of well-rounded party composition. But if you're really feeling the Harangon,
No.
whatever, okay, cool. So basically, the plan for this would be, you guys finish this arc, get back to the Queen, get your rewards. Those of you guys from the material plane go off, start solving things there while Ada does this personal thing with her old friends who are sort of like their own adventuring party here, who have a tie-in with something that uh, you guys know of, which is the appetite, somewhere in the Feywild. So up to you guys if you want to do that as these Feywild friends, or do it together. Thoughts?
I would do it together.
Yeah. I'm impartial. I'm pretty neutral. I could do
Okay.
either or. Which doesn't help anybody, but
Thanks for your input.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I think it would be fun to do the one shot with the
Yeah.
Wild friends.
So it'll basically, to give a little bit of background, it'll basically be the it's probably going to end up being like a two shot with the Abbey setting that I sent you guys a doc about a while ago. And there's a lot to it, mostly because I had to like figure out a bunch of stuff. You don't have to read the entire thing, but it's just a little bit of Feywild background. So it's the stuff that your characters would know, that these Feywild friends would know, and not necessarily uh, someone who grew up on the South Seas or in the woods or on a mountain. So it's more like, oh, here's like the magical history of our world. Um, so that would basically be, we would do a two shot to introduce sort of that setting and these characters, and then sort of hop forward from first level to eighth level. So you're matched with your current, or where your characters will be. Are you guys eighth level already?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you guys will level up. So you'll go from first level to ninth level with these separate guys. Elsewise, we can skip the two shot and just stay with the six and follow Ada with the six to do her personal quest to solve this curse. Anyone
Leaving it up
feeling?
to y'all.
Yeah. I mean, Ada is going to be there either way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just depends. Do you want to go with your OG group of friends, or do you want to go with your, like, the squad? Gang, you know what I mean?
I mean, I kind of want to leave it up to you guys because it's like the people that you guys are going to be playing. Like, it doesn't. Sorry.
I think it's fun to have an opportunity to like try a new character for a hot minute.
I agree.
Oh.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Okay. So we've got sort of like a lukewarm, let's do a two shot after this, and then we'll come back to the present and do that arc with those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That works.
Sweet. So that'll be probably a couple sessions doing, I want to say 1 to 2 before we get to those guys. And then we'll do the two shot. And then we'll come back to the present moment. And Ada will go with this new squad of adventurers while the rest of you guys go back to the material plane. And other thing, we talked about the strongholds thing. I will randomly roll to see which people died out of your followers. I let Aaliyah be alive. She was going to survive unless you basically failed immediately and went all the way through.
I would have
Um,
cried. TBH.
Otherwise, she is the one person that needed to survive because she had the most kind of like tie in to literally anyone else. Um, but if you guys can go through and because that's basically what your characters are going to be doing once you're on the material plane. We're going to move into that sort of like you start doing your stronghold stuff
Hmm.
while Ada is off doing her thing. Um, because Rock is going to get a bunch of information from the Harpers about that because I did not realize that you had sending right now. And I was like, okay, you have a contact. So yeah, you guys will basically be doing stronghold stuff, whichever one you're interested in. Because the you guys said you wanted to do one that was sort of like together ish, and so that's one that's called that would be like a castle, and that can have two of the strongholds within it. So you just have to like read some of that text. You don't have to read the whole thing. You can kind of bounce around. But I would say sort of like figure out in the group chat how you want to do that, and then I'll sort of like plan that thing, which we will do like outside of just in a session. It'll be a little bit more of like texting back and forth, but that stuff I would say uh, we'll keep it in the RP party chat or the D&D chat specifically, so that stuff with the strongholds where you're doing like those roles and I'm telling you like what upgrades you're getting, what kind of like stuff happens in a like the like month that happens there. So it's like in a separate log. I might even just make a separate channel for strongholds so that that stuff happens there. Cool. That's sort of my housekeeping for the next uh pretty much a couple months. I am off on Mondays now, or pretty much most most every Monday now, because my work has finally given me family medical leave so that I
Hey.
have
Wow.
time to do things. Yeah, it's great.
Finally.
It's unpaid, so that sucks, but it's better than struggling.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So I would have more time to do weekly games because I can actually prep stuff if you guys wanted to do that. Um, I know we're super busy and Mondays are a hell of a thing to do, but um, I would leave it to you guys if we're feeling like we want to try and do that, or even if we didn't want to do D&D every night, or we just did uh, not the main game, but can just do like basically weird slice of life stuff in the campaign where we do those one story backshots that will be probably a little bit less structured than what I did in the past, where it'll be a little bit more of like a sandbox thing. Um,
Mm.
if you're interested in that, where it'd basically be like a little bit less like. So here's the pitch for those, which I realize uh, it would be more of a there'd be sort of like a bottle episode, um, where it's just like you guys are here and here's like an inciting incident and we just kind of improvise around it. Um, and it's just sort of like little backstory, one shot things that would be mostly improv. I might have like a page of notes about
Damn.
something.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. I would do
Yeah.
that.
Cool. Um, that's an option if we wanted to do that for that. Otherwise, we could also just do main campaign stuff. So, do we
Only
have?
shopping episodes.
We do not play for long enough to do shopping episodes. Yeah.
All right, I gotta go drive home. So
Oh goodness.
Yeah, I gotta go to bed.
I'm
Yeah.
tired.
I also have to go to bed.
Same.
I have to go take a shower.
Oh god.
Oh no.
Okay, gang. Think about your strongholds. You can read the stuff on the Dropbox and also download it. Um,
Okay.
Well,
anyways,
Cool.
I love
Can
you
we
all
send
very much.
another link
Love
to
you
that?
too.
Love
I
you too.
can. I will
Bye.
bump it in the chat.
I'm gonna hang out with the
Naughty.
chat for just a
Thank
few
you,
minutes. So
goodbye.
bye, people.
Bye, chat.
Bye, chat. Bye, y'all. Yo. Thank you all so much for coming. It was so great to get back and see the gang. It's been a while. It's been a minute since I've seen them. So it's great to get back into it. Yeah, so you kind of heard the general consensus of the group. We may be going to weekly games, which is great, which is awesome. But it just depends. We're all kind of busy, so it may go back to just the standard every 2 weeks. Isn't it crazy that every 2 weeks and every other week mean the same thing? That's kind of crazy, right? Anyway. Yeah, so a lot of shit happened tonight, which is crazy. A lot of lore dumping, a lot of RP, which I love. And can't fucking wait until next time. If you like this stuff, make sure to like it, share it, fucking blast it out to all your friends on social media. Sorry for all the kinks and shuffles in the beginning. It's been a minute for me to stream, so I had to set everything back up again. But it's still a work in progress, you know? This is session 50 with the new gang, so the whole challenge thing was really cool. It was super cool. We've never done anything like that before, so it was very neat and very different from your standard slice and dice and hope you hit your shots. Yeah. So I think tomorrow, if I'm not too busy, I may hop on and do like a little recap for those who weren't here, and just kind of going over like my thoughts and stuff like that. It'll be like a shorter stream, and then Wednesday, we'll be back with our regularly scheduled programming. Now that I'm back, always cool to have a non-combat encounter. Yes, it's very. I mean, for some of the people in the group, like combat isn't their favorite thing. So they like to spice it up with like RP or different challenges and stuff like that. So it kind of appeases everybody's interests and gets everyone engaged. Especially like since we're like average size group, maybe a little bit bigger. Like combat can kind of take a long time. Combat in general just takes a long time to do. So to do something that's more skill-based, you kind of have one thing and you just say, all right, I'm going to run for the trees or whatever. So, yeah, very cool. Very cool. All right, so see you all next time. Maybe tomorrow night. If not, definitely Monday. I'm going to be posting this to YouTube here shortly. So if you couldn't catch the stream, at least you don't have a summoner. Oh, definitely. Oh my gosh. Take fucking forever. So yeah, if you didn't catch this full stream, it'll be up on YouTube either tonight or tomorrow. So yeah. Alright, everyone. I hope you all had a lovely time, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.